Okay, so you have a file with multiple routes in it, possibly legs within a route, and you've decided you want to combine it into one route to send it to your GPS. Well, can I challenge that assumption? Because how much data do you want to send? I have an example of a route I've created here, which is Bynnickmore, standard route from Glenmore Lodge up that Monroe. What I've done is I've plotted the route fairly accurately, so I've followed the path up to signpost, put a waypoint there, I've hidden all the rest. You turn at the signpost, up to the bridge, site of the old Bynnickmore stables that have been removed. Carry on up the Larrig and Loig until there's a split in the track. When I first climbed it, this was a nice little grassy path you went up. Now it's a super highway, you can't miss it, and up to the top. So I have 4 legs, each with a load of waypoints, but I don't send that to my GPS, it's a total waste of time. Instead, what I've done is I've created a simplified one that all it has is a few waypoints, because along here you're following a path, difficult to get lost. Same here, can hardly miss it. The bridge is significant. Then following a path up again. If it's snowy and you can't see the ground, it doesn't really matter, it's pretty obvious where you're going to walk until you get to the point where it splits. You turn and it's obvious you're heading for the top, you can't miss it. So why do you need all those other waypoints? You don't normally walk with a GPS in your hand following the route on it. You print a map. So if I close that, I can print a map with that route on it. Got something to follow, and I only need these few waypoints in my GPS, and they're easy to create. All I did was copy the start point of each leg from that into a new route and then add on the end. That's it. So do you really need to merge your routes to send to GPS? I'll admit I have heard of other occasions where there was a very good reason for doing it, and to that end I have produced a set of instructions in this demo video that shows you how to merge legs into one continuous route using GPSBabel. As I said, you require GPSBabel to do this conversion. Very good utility. It does a lot more than what I'm about to show you. If you want to play about with GPS files and do your own thing, excellent package to have. In fact, if you look at the OMN about, you'll see it actually makes use of GPSBabel to handle GPS communications. So you need to install it in its own right. Go to their website, gpsbabel.org, and make sure it's gpsbabel.org and not another website, because I believe there is another one that's hijacked the name GPSBabel, and the product you get is slightly suspicious, shall we say. So go to downloads, assume you're running Windows, and for those of you who are Mac users, I should point out there is a Mac version. There's also a Linux version, but I'm talking about the Windows version just now. Download it, and when it finishes, just run it. All the standard things. create a desktop icon, handy to have on your desktop, and off it goes. Don't want to launch it. It comes with a very nice GUI, graphical user interface, and you can do an awful lot of things with it. It is possible to do this transformation through the GUI interface, but it's a two-step process and you have to create a temporary file in the middle. So I've created my own Visual Basic program that runs it. So you'll find the download on my website, anquetguru.jimdo.com, and you download it to an appropriate folder. It's a zip file. Open it up and run the setup.exe. So I'm going to run it from my Dropbox folder because I've actually got it there. Expand it, run the setup.exe. It looks very much like the installation of OMN, same technology. It uses some Microsoft libraries, and if you don't have them installed, it will actually stop, as OMN does, and tell you to download and install them. If you hit that, carry on. It's quite safe. It's standard Microsoft libraries. And there you are, it's run, and the interface has appeared. I'll just close that down just now. Right, so I've installed GPSBabel, and I've installed my little program that does the interfacing for you. If you saw my previous video about this conversion, it was a bit of a nightmare having to create your own or download a batch file, get into the right folder and run the batch file. This takes care of all that for you. It's even smart enough to detect which version of Windows you're using, 32-bit or 64-bit, and make the necessary adjustments. Now we've got the required software installed, we're ready to actually make use of it. So what I've done is I've prepared a couple of routes, or at least a file with a couple of routes in it to illustrate what happens. Created two routes. First one I've called top level, and you'll see it's broken down into leg 1, leg 2, leg 3 and leg 4. And leg 3 is split into leg 3A and leg 3B, but it completes one route. There's another route in there which I've called another route, and there's a reason for doing that. If I exported the whole of that file and said convert it to a single route, it would follow the first route, but then because that's in the same file, it would also get the waypoints for that, and it would put in the link from there to there and carry on till it stopped. So your route would go from there to there, which is probably not what you want. So you've got to watch what's in the file. So in this case it's only the top level I want to join, so I can delete that route. Having deleted the route, in case I want the original, I'll save it under a new name. You'll see it's in a subfolder that I've called GPSBabel. So there you are. I've created a file with the route in it that I want to turn into a single route from all these legs. So all I've got to do is to export the file. So I go into Documents. Now I have a folder ready for this called Batch. and I'll give it a suitable name. Just call it Demo 2. Give it any name I like. Save. If I now go into that folder, there it is, demo2.gpx, the file I just created. So I'm now ready to run the conversion as a transformation. How you actually start it, the GUI, will depend on the version of Windows you're running. As I said in the installation instructions, it doesn't create a desktop icon. I may get that sorted out later. I am running Windows 8 and I found it in the usual place. Root join GUI. So you can start it from there. I've also linked it to my start screen for convenience. If you're running Windows 7, you can always create a desktop icon yourself and stick it on your desktop. But I'll click that and run it. And there you are, you'll see it's popped up on the screen. So input file, click browse, and there's the file I want. Open. You'll see it's put the complete path in for it. It saves you having to worry about creating that. Now the output file. For convenience, I'm just going to put it in the same folder. Just call it Demo2 Big Route. Save. Now I'm ready to go. Click the go button. That's it done. Pops up some message to tell me the transformation's complete. Okay, and if I'll close that down out the road. If I go into the file folder, there you see big demo2 bigroute.gpx. It's been created. And to prove that it's worked, if I close that file and then go to import GPX file, there's the one I created, open it, there you are, you'll see the same route on the screen. Thing to notice is that the icon for the waypoints has changed. In the transformation process it's lost. GPSBabel doesn't recognize Anquet's names for waypoint for icons, strips them out, so when it comes back in it gets a default square. You'll see the route itself doesn't have a name, but that's not a problem. Go into edit. You can give it a name. And you'll notice the waypoints are all over the place. That's because it's taken the original waypoint names and just kept them. It's also got the same position it had before and the height data from before. So it's carrying through original waypoint name, its location and height data, and not much else. But if you want your waypoints neatly numbered, just use multi-edit. There you are. You've got your waypoints neatly numbered, your new route, and it's one continuous route all the way around. No sections to it. I hope this video proved useful and that you'll make use of the GUI if you want to join routes. I'd welcome your feedback on how easy or difficult you find to use it, and if it worked for you if you find yourself in that situation. This is one of a number of videos I've produced. You'll find details of the rest on my website, anquetguru.jimdo.com. If there's anything else you think I might be able to help with, then please use the contact section on my website. Drop me an email and I'll see what I can do to help.